Hi there everyone. This is just a video to show you how to calculate the attorney's statement for the SCL module. For today's example, I am using the assignment from last year in 2024. We'll just work through that together so you can see how to do the statement. Just to speed things along, I have already made up a blank chart that we will be inserting the values into. I would recommend doing a chart similar to this. It's also the one that's used in the study guide. It just helps us keep everything looking neat and tidy, and the lecturers also want to see how do we calculate our figures. So it doesn't have to be an exact chart like this, but do something similar so that you can show each of the individual line items here with their fees on this side, and then we'll work out a total. So as long as it's looking neat, you can do a chart, you can do anything along those sort of lines. At the top here, these are the fees that we charge for the services we render, and this section here are the services that we rendered. So let's start with the first one. We received 8 letters. So I'm going to come down to our chart. I'm going to make a new line item called letters received, and that was 8 of them. Now, how much do we charge for receiving letters? If we come up to our costs or our fees here, you can see for letters received, we charge 50 Rand. So we come down, we put our 50 Rand in, and then the total or subtotal for that line item is 400 Rand. The next service we rendered was we wrote and posted 15 letters. So letters written, there were 15 of them. How much do we charge? There we go. We charge 85 Rand for every letter that is written. So that's 85 Rand, and that comes to, let's get a calculator, 15 multiplied by 85 gives us 1,275 Rand. But not only did we write them, we also posted the letters, which means we need stamps. So I'm going to make a new item called stamps or postage, and it was for 15 letters. So how much are the stamps? The stamps are 4.80 excluding VAT, so that's important there. So it's 4.80 each, and what does that give us in total? So 15 multiplied by 4.80, that comes to 72 Rand. Now, because it's an expense and it's not a fee, it doesn't go under the fees category but the expenses category. So it'll come on this side, and it's 72 Rand. But we need to remember here that our expenses are including VAT, and this postage stamp was excluding VAT. So now we still have to add VAT onto that. So we take 72 Rand plus 15% of VAT equals, where's our calculator, 72 multiplied by 1.15. We do 1.15 because we're doing 100% plus 15%. So this is just a quick way to calculate it. If you want to multiply whatever value, let's say it's 100 Rand plus 15%, it'll be 100 multiplied by 1.15. If you needed 20%, it'll be 1.20 and so on. So that comes to 82 Rand 80. 82 Rand 80. Perfect. Next on our list is we drafted 4 affidavits. 3.5 pages, 4.5 pages, and another 4.5 pages. So let's go make a new line item. Affidavits. So let's see now. What was the first affidavit? So there's one that was 3.5 pages. So 1 multiplied by 3.5 pages. We did one that was 4.5 pages. And we did another one that was 4.5 pages. Oh, there's 2 of them at 4.5 pages. pages. Okay, now how much do we charge for affidavits? So let's have a look. Drafting of affidavits, we charge 55 Rand per page. Now this is important. It says or part thereof, meaning whether it's one page, half a page, 2 lines in a page, we have to charge 55 Rand because we've gone onto a new page. So we're going to come here. Let's just put a colon to make it look neat. And how many pages do you think 3.5 works out to? Or how many units do you think that works out to? So we charge 55 Rand per page or part thereof. So we know it's at least 3 because we've used 3 pages, but we've also now gone into the next page. So we're charging for 4 pages. This one is 4.5 pages. So we know we're doing at least 4 pages, and then it's also part thereof, and there's another page. So that becomes 5. The same we did here is there's 4 pages and a half a page, so it's 4 plus this page makes 5. But now remember there were 2 of these, so 5 times 2 makes 10. Okay, I'm just putting this in so we can go and get the values. Now how much should we charge for affidavits? Affidavits are 55 Rand per page. So I'm going to come back down here and multiply 55. Okay, and that's going to give us a total of, where's our calculator? Okay, so we know that each affidavit is worth 55 Rand, so it's 55 Rand multiplied by how many? So we've got 10, we've got 5, that makes 15, plus another 4 makes 19. So we're going to multiply that by 19. That gives us 1,045 Rand. Perfect. After the affidavits, what was the next thing we did? We consulted telephonically. So let's make a new line item. Call it Telephonic Consultation. Okay, so the first one was for 27 minutes. So there is one at 27 minutes. Then we have another one at 12.5 minutes. Then the last one was 35 minutes. Right. Now what was our cost for these? So telephonic conversations or consultations are 150 Rand, but per 10 minutes. Oh, and this is important, or part thereof. So the same with the pages. We charge for a full 10 minutes, even if it's only 2 minutes. Okay, so let's do a similar thing to what we did for the affidavits. Okay, so how many units of time is this 27 minutes? Remembering that 1 unit of time is 10 minutes. So we know 27 divided by 10 is 2 plus this 7 minutes. So it's 3 units of time, because remember we're doing part thereof. 12.5 minutes. So we know we've got at least 10 minutes plus 2.5 minutes. The 2.5 minutes falls into the next block of time, so we have to charge for it. So that is 2 blocks of time. 35 minutes, well, we know 3 times 10 is 30, plus 5, which is half a block, so we're charging for 4 blocks of time. Now, I can't remember how much we're charging telephonically. Let's go and have a look. Oh, it's 150 Rand. So that's going to be by 150. Let's get our calculator. Okay, so we're charging 150 Now, how many units of time? We've got 4. We've got 2. That makes 6. 6 plus 3 makes 9. So we have 9 units of time. So that is 1,350. What's the next thing on our list? Okay, we've done the telephonic ones. Consultations. We've got 2 of them. So let's go and put consultation in. Consultation. The first one was for 31 minutes. So we're going to do 1 times 31 minutes. The second one was for, sure, an hour and a half. They had quite a lot to talk about. So it's going to be 1 times 1.5 hours. How much do we charge for consultations? Let's have a look. There you go. It's 1,000 Rand per 30 minutes, and importantly, part thereof. So in other words, whether a person talks for the full 30 minutes or they talk for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, we still charge the full 1,000 Rand. So let's go and have a look how many units of time we have. So we have 31 minutes. So how many units of time do you think that is? Remembering that 1 unit of time is 30 minutes. So 31, if we take off the 30 minutes there, leaves us with 1 minute. And because we're doing part thereof, we have to charge the full price, even though it's only 1 minute. So that's going to be 2 units of time. What about this one? There's an hour and a half here. 1 unit of time is worth 30 minutes. So in 1 hour, we have 2 units of time because it's 60 minutes. So 60 minutes is 2 30-minute blocks of time. Plus we have an extra hour and a half. That means we have 3 blocks of time. And we charge 1,000 Rand per time, or per block of time. So we've got 2 blocks plus 3 blocks makes 5. 5 blocks times 1,000 Rand is 5,000 Rand. What's the next thing on our list? So we've done the consultation. Okay, so we instructed an advocate to draft a pleading, and the advocate charged 850 Rand excluding VAT. Alright, so we're going to come down and make a new line item. I'm going to call it advocates fees. Now this is an expense, so it's not going to come under the fees because we're not charging that. That's coming from the advocate. That's an expense, so it's going to be 850. Now important to remember here is they said it was excluding VAT. So when we put into this column, because this column is including VAT here, we need to keep everything the same. So 850 plus 15% VAT equals, so 850 multiplied by 1.15 gives us 977 Rand and 50 cents. Perfect. What else was there? Okay, so we've done the pleading. We have a consultation with an orthopedic surgeon. So we'll call this medical fees. How much were the medical fees? So the medical fees are 3,250 Rand excluding VAT. Okay, so 3,000. And now remember, this is an expense. It's not a fee we're charging. So that's going to come in the right-hand side column. So 3,250 Rand. 3,250 Rand excluding VAT. So we have to add VAT on. Plus 15% equals. Let's get our calculator. 3,250 Rand comes to 3,737.50. 3,737.50. Have we done everything? Yes, we've calculated and we've worked out everything. Now we've got to work out our subtotals. Okay, so let's just remove that line. let's make everything easier. Let me just move this onto a whole new page so we can have everything at one go. Okay, so what we've got to do now is, let's call this subtotal. Okay, so now we have to add up the entire fees column. So that will be 400 Rand, because it's the first one there, plus 1,275 Rand, plus 1,045 Rand, plus 1,350 Rand, plus 5,000 Rand. That gives us 9,070 Rand. So our fees come to 9,070 Rand. Now we must also calculate the expenses. Okay, so our first expense there are our postage stamps, and that's 82 Rand 80, plus the next thing on our list there was advocates fees. That was 977 Rand 50. So we're going to go plus 977 Rand 50, plus medical fees, which was 3,737 and 50 cents, for a grand total of 47.97.80. 47.97 and 80 cents. So these are our subtotals. Now our expenses already include VAT because we added the VAT there, we added the VAT and the VAT there. But what doesn't have VAT are our fees, because our fees are excluding VAT. So down here we need to add on 15% VAT. So let's go plus 15% VAT. And that gives us a amount of, remember how to calculate VAT? We take the amount, it's 9070, we multiply it by 1.15, and that comes to 10,430.50. 10,430 and 50 cents. So I suppose technically our subtotal is actually here. Let's go back a bit. There we go. So our subtotal there is 10,430 Rand 50 cents for our fees, and then our expenses are 4797.80 including VAT. So let's put all these onto a line item. Let's add in our expenses, so let's call it plus expenses. So what we're going to do here though is we're going to take this figure and we're going to put it with our figure over here so that we know exactly how much we're going to charge the client. So this 10,430 Rand is our fees. This 4,797.80 cents are the expenses. So we add in our fees plus the expenses, and that gives us a total of where's our handy calculator? So it's 10,430 Rand and 50 cents plus 4,797 Rand 80 for a grand total of 15,228 and 30 cents. 15,228 and 30 cents. So this would be the total due. So total due by, what was the lady's name? The lady's name was Maria Swanepoel. Is 15,228 Rand and 30 cents including VAT. So this here would be your answer to this question. What is the total amount? Because they ask us here to calculate the statement of account. So the total that she has to pay is 15,228 Rand and 30 cents. So hopefully this explains or shows in a nicer format how to calculate the statement of account. So remember, we always start with the chart and then fill these blocks in as we go along, remembering that we have the fees are VAT exclusive and expenses include VAT. So just remember when you add in the VAT and which ones already have VAT. And of course, quite important, and I see quite a few people stumble on this part, is the part thereof. So in this case, we're talking about drafting of an affidavit. It's 55 Rand per page. And because it says part thereof, it doesn't matter whether we go over to the next page by 1 line, half of a page, 3/4 of a page, we still have to charge it 55 Rand. So even if there's 2 lines on the next page, we charge the full page price. But in any case, hopefully this just shows you how to work the statement of account on a nice chart like that. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the SCL study group, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. And hopefully this helps you guys out with how to do the statement of account.